So, you want to be a crafter, huh? I guess I can help you out. Welcome to the video. We are going to be covering the topic of crafting, and while there's no mining associated with this side of Elder Scrolls, you can have just as much fun as you would in that 8-bit world. To begin, crafting in ESO is a monster all on its own. Wonky mechanics, a poorly designed interface, and hard to navigate menus create the foundation of this system. If you can manage to look past all of this, you can find that it's only intimidating at first, and with the right knowledge, you can be one step closer to becoming a master crafter. As a side note, if you do not have the ability to craft yourself yet, there are other options for all of these methods. Joining a crafting guild will introduce you to players that can help you out by either making the stuff you need to level up or giving you tips on what you need to do next. You are also able to farm different locations to get varying amounts of gold to buy the materials such as public dungeons, delves, and my personal favorite, the Dolmen's Alik'r Desert. There are plenty of tutorials on this website that covers dolmen farming if you need some extra help outside of this video. There are 7 skill lines associated with crafting in ESO: alchemy, blacksmithing, clothing, enchanting, jewelry crafting, provisioning, and woodworking. Each of these skill lines would need to be increased to level 50 to get the most out of them. Skill lines like metalworking and tailoring are a necessity to craft max level gear and can only be upgraded fully if the correlated skill line is a high enough level. Motifs in the world of Elder Scrolls are also useful to be stylish and have a larger variety of crafting options, but certain pages can only be learned if your crafting skill is high enough. The more rare a motif, the higher the overall crafting skill will need to be to learn the page. Daily writs are a great form of experience in gold and are often quick tasks to perform. There is a chance to get gold crafting materials like tempering alloys and resin and sealed crafting writs in the reward boxes each day. To begin the daily writs, you would want to go to the message boards in the major cities with a blue arrow above them and collect all of your writs to carry out the task. The drop-off once you complete the writs will be outside of the city edge. If it is your first time doing daily writs, you have to walk to the closest writ board and begin the certification quest. You would need to visit the certification trainer NPC in either Davin's Watch, Vocal Guard, or Daggerfall, depending on your alliance. To level up your skill lines, there is a faster, more expensive method and a slower but cheaper method that I will be covering. Before starting any of the methods mentioned, I suggest consuming an XP scroll or potion to make the agony a little less agonizing. If you consider yourself of the same economic status as Elon Musk and money isn't an issue, you can just take a quick trip to your local guild trader in Mournhold, Crotwood, or Wayrest and run the market. You're going to want to filter for intricate gear in whatever skill line you are leveling up. I usually can buy each piece for under 1.5k gold each and without getting caught for insurance fraud. Once the trader can no longer trade, you move to the next trader to trade. Once all the traders have traded, then you deconstruct all of the intricate gear for an additional 280% or jewelry for a 300% bonus XP. All of your hard work gone with the snap of your fingers. Like that one movie with the purple guy in the gauntlet. For enchanting, your goal is to buy CP 150 purple glyphs in guild traders and proceed to deconstruct from there. This can vary from price to price and can be a little expensive in certain traders. For alchemy, you want to buy the best poison solvents for your level. The reagents do not matter as much, just as long as they mix correctly. Once your level exceeds the poison solvent level, purchase the next step up and so on. For provisioning, you can go to the chef in any city and purchase a recipe that correlates to your level. Proceed to buy the ingredients for the recipe from the chopped mystery basket to beat Bobby Flay. As with the alchemy solvents, once you exceed the level for the recipe, purchase the next available one for your level. If you would rather enjoy your time in ESO and not blow your money on the smaller things in life, the Life of Thievery may also be calling your name. In Vocal Guard, head to the Aegis of Auriel. You will find many pieces of gear to level up blacksmithing and clothing. Once you do a clean sweep and potentially get a bounty on your head, you can choose to either head across the street and deconstruct straight after stealing for a decreased amount of XP, or take the items to the fence to deconstruct at full XP value. Keep in mind that there is a daily limit for fence interactions. I wouldn't want to talk to you all day either. By the time you are back to the Aegis of Auriel, all of the items should reset to the original position for you to close them out of business once again. The cheaper method for enchanting is about the same method as the first time, however instead of Rakuta glyphs, we are searching for the green and blue aspect runes, Jajota and Donata, and are wanting to craft the highest level runes possible for your level. You would then deconstruct these runes and repeat the process. To be able to craft up to purple rakuta and gold kuta, you would need to level up your enchanting skill line, much like that of the blacksmithing and clothing skill lines. It would be aspect improvement level 2 for blue glyphs, level 3 for purple glyphs, and level 4 for gold glyphs. In the crafting skill lines, there are a couple of skills to consider unlocking if you have some extra skill points just lying around. Outside of the necessary leveling up of the individual skill lines to be able to craft the max level gear, they each have a keen eye ability that I would consider getting the first of 3 to. This allows you to easily harvest materials when you are running about your day because you now have the eyes like an eagle. Another suggestion to unlock is the hireling skills for each line. I have these skills unlocked all over the way because these provide free resources each day and sometimes are rare materials such as frostmaram and burvaz juice for purple and gold provisioning. Not to mention I'm lazy and it's less work that I have to do. The rest of the skill lines are up to you, and I would suggest looking at each one to see which would fit your playstyle, as each is beneficial to crafting in their own way. A cruel and unusual punishment that the developers of Elder Scrolls Online decided to implement in their crafting system is the research timers. Researching traits in ESO is important because you are able to craft with that trait for the certain gear piece later on once it is learned. You have to have the gear in your inventory with that specific trait to research it, and once it is researched, it gets destroyed. These timers do not seem bad at first, with times such as 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, but you will eventually catch on that it is a time commitment, with the last 2 timers in the gear section being 32 days and 64 days. There's no need to worry, however. These timers can be reduced with skills in the crafting skill line such as stitching, carpentry, and metallurgy. These skills are deemed a necessity in my eyes. If you were to research one item with all 9 traits, it would take you 128 total days. With the traits mentioned fully upgraded, this time is reduced to 78 days. The ultimate achievement for any crafter is the title of Grandmaster Crafter. This can be accomplished by completing a series of achievements that can be found in your journal under the Crafting Achievements tab. Professions Master requires you to be rank 50 in all of your crafting skill lines. Unsurpassed Crafter requires you to complete 100 Master Writs, which I will talk about later on. For Trait Master, you have to research every available trait at least once. That could be in woodworking, clothing, whatever it may be, as long as you have each trait. Jewelry Trait Master is the same thing, except for a ring or a necklace trait. You have to learn the Nirnhund trait for one weapon and one armor piece. Potent Nirncrux can only be found in Upper Craglorn, and Fortified Nirncrux can only be found in Lower Craglorn, and are both rare drops, so you can either farm for it yourself or purchase it on weapons and armor in guild traders. Once again, I'm lazy, so I would recommend the last. The prices on this varies, but typical prices usually run around 20k for weapons and 3.5k for armors, as of Blackwood pre-order. For True Style Master, you have to collect and learn 50 full motifs. This can be a time commitment on its own, so if you're serious about this title, you might want to start on this one early. A good place to start with this is learning all of the racial motifs. These can be found around the world of ESO or in guild banks, as most people have extras just laying around. Recipe Compendium is not a spell from Harry Potter, but rather it requires you to learn 100 provisioning recipes. For Potency and Botanist, you have to translate all potency runes and learn every trait for each base alchemy reagent. I know this is a lot to take in and may seem like a terrible idea to commit to, and you're probably right. Moving on to Master Writs. These can be obtained through your daily writs on rare occasion or can be bought through guild traders. Prices vary on the amount that people think they can swindle you. If you are going for the Grandmaster Crafter achievement, I would focus on purple sealed enchanting writs and would not spend over 5k gold each. These are the fastest to complete, especially if you already have the runes from previous crafting. Once you complete your writ, you have to deliver the order to your contact in the faction's capital city. He will trade writ vouchers in exchange for your hard work that can be turned in for luxury items in his shop. Not to mention the glass style and ebony style books are in the store to learn as well. That's all the advice that I have to give to someone wanting to become a crafter in ESO. If you have made it this far in the video, I believe you either have nothing better to do with your time or you're a special kind of person. If you learned anything new in the video or have any questions, be sure to let me know and don't forget to subscribe.